Thank you so much. Okay, so my next 20 minutes will be NGS in hematopathology, and I will be trying to show you two aspects that we do in the lab. One is the use of Genexus because it is the latest equipment available, and just trying to show some of the things that we have done. And second is the kinase domain mutation analysis that we have tried to develop it in-house and assay for mutation analysis. For MPNs, as we know, it is a broad disease, and we have myeloproliferative neoplasms, AML, MDS, MPN, eosinophilia, and a lot of mutations like c-KIT, PDGFR alpha, PDGFR beta, ASLX, NPM, FLT3. So many mutations have now been defined in many of the diseases that we now consider in myeloid neoplasms, and it is still evolving. And now we're moving more and more genetics in this area. It is moving entirely to the genomics. Of course, it starts with morphology. Cannot escape that. You have to have morphology. You have to have flow before you do in for any kind of molecular. You cannot have a mutation analysis and try to subcategorize in any of these areas. Always morphology and flow to get that information, and subsequently this molecular information like now we realize FLT3, NPM, CEBPA, KIT, and MDS, MPNs. I think this is one area I'm again re-emphasizing. I have discussed it and previously as well. Is this molecular information is helping categorize these diseases into the exact categories. A case of uncategorized monocytosis, and you are getting mutations in SRFS2, TET2, SETBP1, or JAK1 can help you categorize into a category of CMML. With proper morphological monocytosis, some dysplasia, some eosinophilia. This is helping. And in uncategorized MDS, MPNs, the atypical CMLs, we recently got two atypical CMLs, negative on fish, negative on karyotype. CML, morphology looks like CML, 40% immature myeloids, and you have mutations in SETBP1 and SLX. So that way, linking out to that, this is a case of AML. So this mutation profiling is helping in that in this category. I feel very much. And MPNs will already, and even in MDS, I'll show some cases where mutation profiling is in MDS is helping us categorize or pushing them into some of the areas where we can classify in a better way. And as we are aware that the mutation profiling covers DNA methylation, splice factors, signals transductions, chromatin modifications, transcription factors, and DNA repair mechanisms. So I'll just take you through the Genexus platform. So as we have been, from morning we have been discussing that you need to prepare library, you have to extract DNA, prepare library, load it to the sequencer, get the results, and then get your data analysis going. But here we have a system where everything is combined. And what we are realizing is extracting the sample and loading it into the sequencer. Of course, whatever sample goes in has to be of very high quality, because there is no other QC step involved, as Dr. Soumya was mentioning. How do you QC your the library that is going in? How do you know that it is? You cannot do that. So the only QC step engaged here is the extraction. If your extraction, as Dr. Spandan mentioned, there are so many QC steps: DNA, RNA, good quality, nanograph, tape station, working well in a particular concentration. You are loading into the sequencer. This gives you good results. Of course, there are challenges. It is not that nothing comes without challenges. There are some limitations and challenges, but this is the area where this field is moving. Fully automation is being considered in these areas, and successfully so. So, and when I was talking just about the sequencer, even the extraction part, I'm told that there is a system available where it can be fully automated. Even extraction is automated, and then it is linked to the system. We have not tried that. I think only one system is available in the country. I'm not sure if Thermo team is there, but that is also being done. So fully integrated systems are being considered in this area. With this, Genexus one single chip is available at the moment. This is the chip that is available, GX5. It has 4 lanes. You can run each lane at a time. A particular assay, for a particular assay, particular number of samples can be run. For myeloid, it is 8 DNA and RNA combined. For OP, it is 4 DNA and RNA combined. Only DNA, you can run 16 samples in 2 lanes. So that will be kind of optimization which is available. Only drawback being that if you have run this system, it is on. This chip has to be used within 15 days. If it is not used single lanes, then this thing goes waste. So if you are not able to utilize one lane in different ways, then this is a big drawback in using of some of the equipments in this, but we are able to use it, and it gives the results in 24 hours, depending upon the assay, between 18 to 24 hours from loading of a sample to the results can be interpreted. Of course, you need to have that many samples to be able to load, like I mentioned, 8 samples to be able to use that. And the panel on this, so we are discussing myelin panels. There are different panels available. It is TrueSeq, it is QIAGEN. There are a panel available from Thermo Fisher earlier panel. So this is the GX panel available on the Genexus platform. So it is a newer panel. Okay, just to highlight, because there are different panels available from different companies. It is a closed system. Only this panel works in this system. No other panel would work. But this is an upgraded panel of their Oncomine research assay, where you have the genes and fusions mentioned in red, green, the newer ones, and these are mainly implicated in germline implications, myelin neoplasms with germline. There are 5 or 6 genes, and there are 2 fusions. NUP98, as you would know, it is a new gene which is new classification. AML with NUP98 fusion has been added. So this does add on those areas. So this is the one that we were utilizing, and it tends to come in all the many of the ML, MDS, MPN, and MDS driven changes. So using this panel, we tried to validate, and we ran around 42 samples with 54 mutations, and these were different types of samples were there. This is DNA mutations, then RNA fusions, again Sanger and fish verified samples we used, along with the myeloid reference standard Horizon, that is SD829. We use this and look at the sensitivity, specificity, reproducibility, accuracy, precision, and limit of detection. So this is what we tried out, since this was a new assay, and these are the various types of mutations. You can see FLT3 ITD, insertion, NPM, CVP, DNMT, the duplications in FLT3, ETV6, ASLX, JAK2, 52 base pair. So when you're evaluating, I think it is important to list out different variations, 52 base pairs, 5 base pair, indels, deletions, different subsets of mutations you should try to include at variant allele fractions, so that you know that whether your assay is working right or wrong. Mention regarding FLT3 ITD, most of the published literature, in all the published literature, I think you would say FLT3 is working very nicely. They would cover 100% on all the assays that they would mention, and you would note that in that the FLT3 ITD traditionally is less than 100 base pairs. So you would select samples where the FLT3 ITD is less than 100 base pairs and run it on the sequencers, which tends to work very well. When the FLT3 ITD is more than 150 base pairs or 200 to 250 base pairs, that is a problematic area for all short read sequencers. Traditionally with Thermo, more than 160 or 170 base pairs is very difficult to pick it up. That is a known issue with all the short read sequencers, and you should always take your AML or FLT3 results with a pinch of salt if you're not using gene scan assay along with it, because 5 to 10% of your cases can be false negative. This is rare, but it can happen. So we used this FLT3 ITDs along with controls, various fusions, uses BCR-ABL and PNMT 821, 15, 17 different, and then MLL. And the way the data looks like, as Torul was mentioning, after all the QC steps, this is how it looks like, the loading and the final reads, and the chip. While looking at the chip, also you were able to tell that whether this chip is working or not. It is a blue chip or a red chip, or a bubble is there, or a reads are less. So you come to know the problems when you're looking at this basic QC, just for QC. And subsequently, when you run look at your deep down your data, you can see this is one sample, how the graph is it is at what size standard, at what sizes the graph is. This is for the DNA, and subsequently this is for the RNA. So this tells me that okay, this is pretty uniform, very good. The total reads are good. The coverage is very nice, 3000x. So 3000x is a very, very good coverage when you're looking at, and this is pretty uniform. So 3000, 3500, 2000. So it means this is a very, very good coverage for the sample that we have done. The more the pooling that you do, less the coverage will come for all the samples that you use. So if your coverage distribution, if I'm using more than 8 samples, not possible in this, but in other sequences, if it is 8, if I use 16, my coverage will go down to 500x. Okay, that causes problems. If your run is not right, my particular variant is not right. And there the challenge is somebody is asking when to use higher sequencing for confirmation. So then people tend to use higher sequencer for verification of their variants if they're not sure. Or if you're an Intel, my recommendation is 1000x. I'm doing at 250x, getting an Intel. Am I confident? Even all the protocols I'm using, you need a sanger to confirm maybe. So there sometimes you need additional techniques to verify that. This is just a QC coverage. Really very nice. Whatever I'm getting is very nice. Subsequently, if we are going to see, or we are going to see the IgE, it is a good data for me to analyze. And I can confidently report, okay, my data is good to go. This particular case, this is the HD829 control that we used for our validation. And you can see like ABL1, expectedly frequency 5%, we were getting 5.4% and 5.7% in 2 runs. You could see most of the things are being picked up except ASLX. Now you should know that ASLX in this assay is not properly covered. This duplication, which is seen many times, is not properly covered in this assay. With all the panels from Thermo Fisher, ASLX is not covered. P3 ITD, this is 300 base pair insertion. It is not covered here and not covered here. So 300 base pair for sure not covered in this assay. Some of the regions are not covered. So apart from this thing, all the things are as per what is expected allele frequency. So using a control now tells me that ITD is more than 300 base pair. I cannot pick up. ASLX is not. So that is a drawback I have to mention in, or limitations I have to mention in my report, that this is not likely to be picked up. And just to mention these samples, so this is a control that we tested, but this is the actual samples, and I think all very much concordant. So 22 sample, all mutations, including character. So very much in line, even FLT3 ITDs as well. With a limitation, larger base pair FLT3 ITD is not covered. So henceforth, for all FLT3s, we run a parallel gene scan based assay. Till now, we would have run 600 samples. No discrepancies there as yet. Whatever is picked up on the assay is being picked up on the NGS as well, but we do it because we missed out a 300 base pair in the validation run. So subsequently, most of these samples are being run. Fusions, all the fusions were picked up. Were concordant. These were fish verified and even negative samples which were negative. So no false calls in that. In fusion detection, the problem comes, what is the low? We want to call it positive. Okay, that is a problem. Whether I want to call 100 reads, 200 reads, 500 reads, 1000 reads, what is the read count below which you will tend to call it positive? And traditionally 100, somebody calls 50 to 100 is what many times you consider positive in your reaction. But always this has to be seen in the context of history. I got a sample, I was getting 50 reads, 821 positive sample. I reported it as negative. It came back, this is a post-treatment sample of 821. Are you getting 821? Now this history is not available. I'm not able to figure out correctly, and I am removing that from my algorithm. It also happens sometimes that there are false positives being created in the run. So you will have to run, you have to have your assay defined very well. Getting 500, 600 reads of many fusions in a run is not possible. So you have to see that whether your run quality is good. Retesting it with another protocol and repeating the run is very helpful. And we see that there are mistakes happening in that area. So this is while we were looking at the coverage of CBPA, because CBPA is traditionally very challenging, and I think after discussion with Mishra sir presentation, we decided to look at both the company level as well as decided to look at the CBPA, and you see here the coverage of the CBPA. These are the 6 amplicons here, and you see the coverage is very good, and CBPA is very good. FLT3 was covered very well, and even the color was being covered very well. So this is one sample. Run by 2 assays. One is the earlier mild research assay where CBPA is a problem. It has to be run in a particular way. It has to be run with iron chef, and the current mild V2GX assay. So you see this amplicon is not covered in this assay. So same sample, but this was not covered well, and you see the coverage over here. So again, we are showing that okay, V2GX assay is being running very well. Again, a confirmation of the CBP mutation. Okay, this ran very well, and subsequently after this optimization, we have run almost 100 runs on GeneXus, more than 100 runs, 600 samples, all sort of samples, and we are getting lot of uniformity in the runs. Just to share the data from the 13 runs, the about the total bases being run, the reads being generated, the loading, and mind you, this is automated loading. We don't do anything in that. We just load this sample. After that, it is fully automated. We don't play around with anything. Whatever is prescribed is prescribed. But we do QC at the part of extracted DNA. Subsequently, everything the sequencer does. There is a failure rate. Of course, there are problems. The sample fails in around 10 to 15% of the cases, and this is because of the keeping giving a spin at particular way, keeping your cartridges in particular way, or the reagents being, some of the issues are there which needs to be sorted out. And this is some of the mutations that we got. This is not an exhaustive list, but 160 samples that we analyzed, and you can look at the FLT3 ITDs. It is 100 base pairs is what we have got here. I have not analyzed fully the data yet, just to share that up to 100 base pairs is getting picked up nicely here. Okay, and this is CBPA, CalR, and FLT3 showing the coverage is good in all the samples. This is all samples with the, for reads for a particular CBPA gene. I think all we are getting more than 5,000 or 10,000 text coverage. CalR is more, CBPA is slightly less, but it is all adequately getting covered. And fusions also were getting detected in around 500 samples. Around 50 of the fusions we have got. This is just some of the fusions that I'm just sharing some of the fusions. And very recently, a publication has also come up in this area. You can go through it on this rapid and automated sequencing of somatic myeloid and RNA aberrations in myeloid neoplasms using this GeneXus platform. Quickly take a few of the cases that, so this was a 40-year-old male, likely AML. There were a blast in the peripheral blood, 86% blast, referred for molecular testing by using this panel, and you could see 2 fusions, BCR-ABL and the inversion 16, both in the same patient. And since initially we were a little surprised to see that, but and verified both of the fusions. So this is most likely a case of CML in myeloid blast transformation. But using this way, it helped you pick up quickly that this is a myeloid transformation, though this was being called as AML. And IGV, again, you need to look at IGV to confirm your findings, as Thorol had shown. So another area where this panel is being utilized is the MRD. I'm just showing one case to highlight this panel. You cannot use this panel for follow-up. Traditionally, for AML MRD, you need to go down to 0.1%, and probably ddPCR is the better way of following up these cases. But till 1% you can use this panel, and this is one such case. You could see acute leukemia called as AMML, karyotype was normal. At diagnosis, we got 3 mutations, that is IDH2, ASLX1, and IKZF. they were present at this variant allele fraction 46, 48, and 49% at diagnosis. And subsequently, this patient was post chemo again retested, and we were not aware of that. We were not aware of that. It was a blind sample. It came and it went off, and this was the variant allele fraction that it decreased. The idea was to decrease. Rest two were same. In fact, that is on in the October 2nd October. This was we were told that this is a repeat sample being done. We were not having the adequate history at that time point, and the question was, you see, every time you're running it, you're giving the same value. Okay, so you could see that this could happen in the cases because these could be germinal. These two other variants that are these are germinal and they won't come down. So the other method is what you will have to follow. But in these cases, getting a sign sequence or verification of the sample can be helpful if this query arises that whether this has been done or not. And we did this in this particular case. And subsequently, on the fourth time point, it decreased, but rest remained same. Then we got a sample post BMT and IDH1 completely gone, IPZF completely gone, but we were still getting the ASLX mutation that is present in this. This is post BMT, two samples are there. Just wanted to show the application that this is being utilized in this area also. But this is not the right way. You need a separate panel which can go down to 0.001. This is 0.1%. This is 1% sensitivity is what you are you getting me? Am I making sense in this area?
Excuse me, sir. So I have one doubt.
Yeah,
Post BMT, how can we explain the presence of ASXL1?
To be honest, I don't know.
And
Because
after
I don't know. I don't have the complete history. I'm just sharing what I've got. And I won't be able to make comment on what is happening. No. That otherwise we would have gotten all the samples. See, if I'm getting in my databases, I would have got that in. So this could be germline. This variant is gone off, or this variant is not there. I don't know. I won't be able to comment on that. Yeah. I cannot comment on that. Okay, so then patient one, this is another 75-year-old case, pancytopenia having a complex karyotype. This type of karyotype tells you this is complex, very complex, not to understand. When you look at the mutation profiling, we got in this assay run, and TP53 mutations were there. This is a pathogenic. You see the loss of function, script, missense, coverage is 2000x, and this is the cosmetic ID. So giving the detailed information is important when you are considering this. The point is TP53 correlates with the complex karyotype. So if you are getting TP53 complex karyotype, this makes sense to you that this is you're in the right direction. It has happened that karyotype is not giving correct information, or something is wrong with the karyotype, and I'm getting TP53 mutation, means this is high risk, and I can correlate accordingly. Okay. One other case, 58-year macrocytic or bicytopenia anemia called as MDS RAB1, presenting with anemia, mutation in the SF3B1 gene. This is very commonly described with RARS mutations. Then pancytopenia and evaluation, MDs, you're getting mutation in SRF2 and PHF6 genes. Again, helping you demonstrate that this is clonal in nature. Again, sometimes confirming that this is a clonal. Another case of 36-year-old MDS having PHF6 TET2 EZS2 mutations at variant other frequencies. And one point is important to note that since we are sequencing many a times, you will get cases where the variant allele fraction is around 10% or less than 10%. That time, not to call it causal, you have to consider CHIP in that consideration. Not every variant allele fraction will be causing that, because sometimes in a normal individual you will get certain mutations. Those are usually less than 10%, and they may not be contributing that. So not every mutation less than 10% would be attributed to the cytopenia. It could be something else. So please keep it in mind. Don't work on MDS just because on the basis of MDS, because these could be normal patients which are having chip or in that way. Okay. 71 male, then refractory ring sideroblast, MDS, and you're getting pathogenic SF3B1 mutations, very commonly implicated, or it correlates very well. So just to give you some flavor of the things how they come along. One other assay that I just wanted to highlight was a kinase domain mutation analysis by NGS. So this is an area where traditionally we use Sanger sequencing as the approach, and this is a Sanger sequencing. Basically, you get your RNA, you run your RT-PCR, BCR amplifier, BCR-ABL, and sequence that kinase domain through a two-step protocol, and it tends to give you sensitivity of around 5 to 10% is what you use it, and and this has been the recommended way for documenting kinase domain mutations. We developed this assay. This is an AmpliSeq based assay, and you have just showing you this is the kinase domain being covered with various amplicons, and it tends to cover the 160 to 500 codons of this assay to try to cover the kinase domain. So just sharing you customization of an assay to use it for the kinase domain mutation analysis. Commonly we test it through Sanger sequencing. And here what we do is you isolate your RNA, you prepare your cDNA, amplify the kinase domain by specific primers. Then there is second amplification using the kinase domain pool. Then you prepare your library and pull it into a sequence and analyze using ion reporter software. But this assay has been customized through the using AmpliSeq, and while variant analysis we used ion reporter 18.2.0. And so we just mentioned regarding some of the exclusions that we do. And this is it is coming into the guideline that you need to move into an NGS based assay in this area, and kits are not available, so you need to customize in this front. Some of the mutations being covered. Just sharing some of the data regarding 21 samples we tried to validate it, and all the samples were validated by Sanger sequencing based assay. So here we had 13 samples which were negative and samples which were positive. You could see here that we got the whatever mutations have been detected on Sanger were picked up by NGS along with the variant allele fractions, like T31I5 was present at a variant allele fraction of 17%, so 76%. In this particular case, you had 4 clones, at variant allele fractions, and later on post treatment, we were able to detect only 1 clone, but there were 5% or other clones were there. So these could be implicated in the therapy next time onwards. So it is important to be able to document by NGS or additional method. Are you all with me? I'm going a little fast. So kinase domain mutation analysis and NGS based assay, trying to show a self or customized assay how it is validated, because kits are not available. So you can use AmpliSeq designer or other way to design your assay and subsequently use it for your clinical control. Whenever you're using for any assay for your clinical, you need positive samples and negative samples for your validation. I showed you AML myeloid using positive, negative samples and controls, and here another kinase domain assay using positive, negative samples. You were able to get the variant allele fraction. So 100% concordance were there, and subsequently we have been using this another in now I think 15-17 patients that we have used it with very good results, and very happy with the results, and we are likely to publish this. Spandan had developed this assay in-house. So with that, I come to the end of this session. Thank you so much for your attention.